Welcome to the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger.
That would be me.
And we are going to give you all your real estate and mortgage news today. I'm going to dive into a couple of things. I want to talk about the best upgrades for sellers, what gets you the most bang for the buck when you're getting your house ready to sell. We're going to talk about, for buyers and sellers, how time is money. We're going to go into that. And then we'll talk about your first investment property, how to do that. Bruce, what do you got?
Well, we want to talk about what's going on with interest rates. How are they affecting the market? I want to talk about bridge loans because a lot of folks are really calling about bridge loans. How can I buy that next property without selling the one I have, but I still need the equity out of it? What's the deal with bridge loans? I've got a fix and flip for investors product that we're going to talk a little bit about. And I've even got a builder line to help builders build more spec homes. So if you're a builder out there, you're listening to this, you build between 5 and 50 homes a year, and you're struggling to get bank money to put specs in the ground, then you're going to want to hear this show. So we're going to cover that. And I want to just cover a little bit about down payment assistance and solar panels, because I got another issue on another one of my transactions with solar panels out there, and it's driving me bananas. I got two issues actually with two live clients right now on solar panels. So you have solar panels on your house or you're considering getting them, don't do anything till you listen to this segment where I'm covering solar panels.
All right. How are we doing on rates, Bruce?
Well, your interest rates right now are running an average of about 6.39% on Fannie Mae nationally, VA and FHA a little bit lower than that. It's been a rocky couple of weeks, to be honest with you. I mean, it's been up and down. We haven't seen a huge increase in interest rates, but it's just uncertainty.
Yeah.
So earlier in the week, we had one day we lost 38 basis points. That's not a good day in the market. We've seen gas go up as much as 14 cents in one day. And those things are affecting the market, and they're affecting, they're affecting people that they don't feel stable, right? They don't. So what do we do to combat that? Because when I see those situations, Cleve, I look at opportunities. I don't look at the problem. So let's find out where the opportunities lie.
Everything right now, Bruce, is, all around the country, I've got sales numbers ticking up, average price up slightly, like around the country. The median price last month was 402. This month it's 404. So what's that? That's I don't know what that is, 0.5%, 0.25%. But it's moving up. We're not seeing, like, it's funny. We got each of us have those clients. So, I want to wait till the market crashes. Sure. Hadn't happened.
And
not going to happen.
Going to happen.
There's no defaults. Inflation's driven prices even higher. It's just not happening. It's just a slow market, not booming. But as long as we beat 2025, which we are doing, and that's the numbers we're watching to see. And Central Florida is always, the rest of the country has inventory growing.
Yes.
Central Florida's is shrinking over the past 9 months.
Yeah, but we have a lot of inventory right now. So you're shrinking.
We do have more
from
than
a high number.
Yeah. And the number of sales.
Do you have your stats out yet?
Not for May. We'll get those in the next week or so.
But even for April, we were up to like 11,000 homes on the market.
It's a 6-month supply because the number of sales dropped. And that's because we crossed that threshold into the buyer's market, which means, and this is what, listen to me, agents, this doesn't mean homes are selling for 85% of list price. This means sellers are more flexible. The average list price to sales price is still around 98% for the market. Now, I'm sure there's cost padded into that, but don't write an offer for 400 on a house listed at 5 and ask for 5% in closing costs. You're not going to get anywhere. You're not doing anybody a favor.
No, you're not. And if you are looking to purchase a home, you want to know what the tips are that the professionals use when they go to negotiate. So I'm going to cover 3 tips you can use when purchasing a home. So you're going to want to hear this because I think most of you are you don't look at the whole numbers. And I think people go in there and make offers on property based off of principle instead of logic. So if you've got a house and you've been out looking and you see a house and it's 500,000 and you're going, wow, everything else I've seen that's like this house is 550.
That's a good buy.
You should make an offer on that house. Don't go in at 450 and wonder why you lost it.
Yep.
So there's some strategy. How long has the house been on the market? Why has it been on the market that long? And if it's only been on the market for 3 days, you are not going to have the opportunity to negotiate the way you would if a house has been on the market for 100 days. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah, no, you
Absolutely.
got to know those things. And that's what your agent's going to do for you. You know, if a house just adjusted the price and it looks pretty nice and they just dropped the price, like I said, you don't go in with a low ball offer. You're setting yourself up for a hard point. You know, I had a house at 425. And I got two agents that just, bless their little heart, didn't know how to write. And they wrote something in the threes plus asked closing costs. Experienced agent came along, wrote me full price with 4%, done. Didn't even
Done
count,
deal.
didn't even do it. So you got to watch that, and you got to be priced correctly. You got to know what's going on in the market around you, and your market value, Bruce, is what you walk away from the closing table. That
That's
the price
exactly
paid at the
right.
closing table, not what you think might happen. Things like that. You know, I
Well,
had
the longer you keep on the market, you're losing those are carrying costs that you're losing. So if your payment
Yeah.
is $2,500 a month
Yep.
and you've been on the market for 6 months, that cost you a lot of money on that. So
Yep.
you have to be careful as to what you're doing. If you'd like to talk to Cleve and his team are available this weekend. He's got buyer's agents out showing property for my clients today. And I'm really happy to see what comes in. But Cleve can be reached now at 407-352 8118 or cleveloveland.com. I'm the Lone Ranger, Bruce Woodburn, 36 years doing mortgages, helping families just like yours, helping folks accumulate wealth in real estate. Buy, you can refinance. I do home equity lines, construction loans. I'm doing reverse mortgages, all kinds of programs for you. You can reach me now at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or go to webringyouhome.com and get your application started right there. We don't do a hard credit pull when we get things started. You don't have to have a hard credit pull till you're going under contract to purchase a home. Let's start off and keep it super easy. Cleve?
All right. I want to talk about the best things you can do. And I've got a 50-point staging checklist and bang for the buck, getting a house ready to sell. You know, sometimes I walk in on sellers talking to them about selling the house and they think they got to do, they need to do like $20,000, $30,000 worth of work on a $500,000 home. Most of the time, Bruce, I'm spending 1 to 2% of the sales price of the home. Right. And this kind of depends on, you know, if you've taken good care of your home over the past 15 years you've been in it, probably not much to do. Maybe freshen up the yard, maybe trim some trees off the roof. You know, if there's any honeydew list of some repairs, get those handled. I've got the handyman to do that. But I think mainly it's just the first appearance, the yard, walking up to the front door, pressure washing, getting the cobwebs off, the mud daubers, all those things. The living area and the master bedroom and the outside living area, the back porch, or looking at the pool, looking at the yard, that sells the home. Those three parts of the homes, you know, it's okay to have one of the three bedrooms stacked up with boxes because you're getting ready to move.
Sure.
But the living areas, the master, that's kind of what they're kind of comparing you to. Those are the top items there. And then the view out back. And they walk out back and the yard's disheveled. Like I went to a house yesterday, Bruce, and the photos, they had photoshopped the yard. It was
photoshopped the yard.
The yard looked beautiful, and the inside renovation was nice. But we went inside I pull up in front of the house. I'm like, wait a minute, are those pictures
the same house?
It did not look like the same house. The yard was dead. The weeds were growing up. The backyard was a pit. I mean, look, it was horrible. I mean, it was really kind of it was deceptive advertising. So that's the feedback we gave the agent too. The inside of the house was okay, and the price was actually okay. If the yard had looked like that, my clients might have been interested.
Yeah.
But when I do that, I look for the things that sellers can do. I just met with a gentleman who's probably not retiring for another 18 months to 24 months, went over what he could do on his house. And I was like, he was good. He didn't need to do anything. And usually he was thinking, oh, it's a big piece of land. And he's talking about maybe it's going to get split for 5 homes. And I said, that's really kind of tough. And that's a lot of money. And the house was so nice with a garage and a barn on 3 acres and a very busy corridor, nice section of town. He'll do really well on it. But I didn't see anything like for him to spend. If I spend $5,000, I want to get 15 back when I list the house.
Absolutely.
And that's usually like if the carpet's horrible, you know, and you want to do vinyl flooring, if the kitchen cabinets are falling apart and they're avocado green, actually, I think avocado green cabinets are coming back. I think I saw some of those the other day.
Hey, I want to ask you a question because I've got a client right now and he's got his home listed to sell.
Yep.
Doesn't have a buyer for it, but he's in contract to buy another property.
Yep.
Okay. So he's in contract to buy a property. The listing agent on his home is having trouble because he's got 13 cats in the house. 13
That's
cats.
a bit excessive.
So, and so I don't know. What does somebody do when you have that many pets in order to get your house
You're going to have to
sold?
make a concession in price. You're going to have to board the kitties when it's shown. Now, here's the problem too with that many cats. Can you tell the cats are there before you walk in the front door?
Well, and that's the problem because
Okay.
you may be a cat person and you don't smell it, but other people may not be. And if you can't expect to get top
Yep.
dollar, so what you're saying is you can do it, but you're going to give up money because of the condition of the home.
Yes, because of the
So
condition. And if you can't, and then showings is one thing. People are like, well, I got to make sure. If you make showings difficult, like I got to round the cats up and they all have to be crated and taken away for the showing. If you do something like that, you're really shooting yourself in the foot.
yeah,
So it might be best to move, depending on their situation, move to where they're going to go. Empty the house out if you can, and that's why I'm going to dive into time is money in the next segment. But it really depends on the seller's situation. But there's going to have to be a concession there on pricing if it really is something where the flooring's got to be replaced, because that many cats is excessive, and
that's a lot.
and
of
I've seen
cats.
that. I've seen that.
Well, and here's the way I look at it, folks. When you're listening to this show, here's the reality of it. Who sells the homes the easiest? Builders, right? So what does a builder do? They make their home look clean, simple, uncluttered, gray tones, white tones, neutral tones, not flashy, crazy paint
Mhm.
jobs. Everything's clean and simple. So that's one thing they do. The second thing they do is they help the buyer with closing costs and rate buy downs. So if you are truly trying to sell your home and it hasn't sold or you haven't had offers in 30 days,
Yep.
consider the way the house looks and consider making it easier for a buyer to be able to purchase.
Yeah.
And some people may say, well, I don't want to give up, $20,000 in closing costs because somebody could come in and offer me $20,000 less on my house.
If you're not getting
You
that,
have
deal with the offer in front of
opportunity
you.
to
Yeah.
negotiate it any way you want.
Well, there's
to.
less buyers in the market right now, and it's taking a few more showings. Like normally, Bruce, when I see 10 to 12 showings on a house, I'll get an offer.
Right.
It's taking about 12 to 15 showings to get an offer. And then it's taking longer to get those showings, even on a well-priced home. Now, I had a couple go with multiple offers. They were starter homes, priced well, nice properties and condition.
Yep.
They went well. So, but when you've got a cause defect, here's the problem nowadays. With the interest rates higher or lower, and it's picking, but when that's happening, both mom and dad might be working.
Yes.
You know how many homes I've sold a handyman, Bruce?
How many?
0 in my 35 years. Now I've sold homes to people who say, hey, I'll tackle the bathroom renovation later on, or I'll tackle, but not many of them want to tackle a whole house renovation. First of all, it's hard to find people to do that. Second of all, they always think it costs more than it actually does. They're worried about that expense. They're emptying their savings account to buy the house. They don't want to take on a bathroom where the tile's falling off the walls,
No, they don't.
or wait, we've got to do flooring because the cats, ruined the carpet, that kind of thing. So you got to be in top-notch homes still sell in just about a regular period.
Sure they do.
If they're in great condition,
Sure they do.
they get
Absolutely.
top dollar. Yeah.
And if your house is in that condition, and that's why you hire somebody like Cleve to help you with that, because he's going to tell you, fix this, fix that. Don't worry about that. Let's put that off. Let's just spend a little bit more money over here. Get yourself and you said something earlier. If you spend 5, you should get 15. That's a 2 to 1 gain.
Yeah, you want
right?
that. Yeah.
So a 2 to 1 gain would be your way to do it. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, Cleve and I are going to discuss a few more things. I want to talk about bridge loans to help folks get into a home without selling the one they have first, and then applying that money toward your new transaction. And I want to talk about solar panels when we come back. I got some important things to talk about that you will not want to miss. 407-250-9144 for the Lone Ranger, or Cleve Loveland at 407-352-8118, or cleveloveland.com, or always go to my website at webringyouhome.com. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere.